I'm Corbett Wall with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Thursday, June the 13th, brought to you in part by Performance Livestock Analytics. Performance Beef is an easy-to-use app that tracks and stores your feeding, performance, and health records all in one place. For more information, go to performancelivestockanalytics.com. Give it an inch, take a mile. And as we've been going through this rally here, really for over a year or more than that, every time we get a little bit higher prices up the ladder from the calves and the feeders, it kind of gives these buyers a new lease on life, and they push a little bit harder and they push a little bit harder, but they are pushing harder than really what they have a right to. Of course, it's hard to pencil anything, guys, but you know, in the last week, compared to right now here, middle late week of this week compared to a week ago, our live cattle futures might be a little higher, $1 to $2 higher. Feeder cattle futures $3 to $4 higher with a big Monday there, but then coming off of that a little bit. Our fat cattle established cash market, like I talked about earlier in the week, is 1 penny higher per hundredweight, which is not a whole lot. That's basically steady, but it's a penny higher than it is a penny lower. Corn is actually a little bit higher, but on Wednesday we had a neutral WASDE report, and corn ended up a little bit higher on Wednesday, but not much, and we're not expecting it to do a whole lot here for the foreseeable future or the near-term future here. But feeder steers at OKC West in El Reno, which is a big market, and it's played heavily by your corporate feeders. Feeder steers were $8 to $12 higher than a week ago. So, and that's just kind of been the regular trend, you know. Give them a little bit of room, they take a whole bunch, they take a little bit back on the board, or maybe take a buck or two away from your fat cattle market, and your feeders don't ever come down much. Now, we have seen our calves kind of level off. Of course, it's getting hot, and there's a lot of soft calves coming to market, and people aren't wanting them that much. There's not a whole lot of those calf weight yearling stockers left out there, and pretty much everybody's already turned their cattle out, unless you got small pastures somewhere that you own. If it's in a leased situation where you own some major grazing areas all across the United States, pretty much everybody's got their stocker cattle turned out. It'd be a rare occasion where they would add to that very much. And so we're not seeing a whole lot take place in your calves and stockers. They just kind of go along here pretty steady. But man, these big feeders, and they keep getting bigger all the time. A lot of 10-weight feeders, some creeping up into the 11s, and they just continue to get a little bit higher all the time as we go forward. Coming to you from Oklahoma City. Glad to be here, but Oklahoma City is a place that I'm at pretty regularly. I got a lot of things business-wise going on in Oklahoma City, but this time it's for the LMA convention here, and pretty excited about that. Get to see a lot of old friends and meet some new ones, and hopefully get some new customers, and just looking forward to a few days here of engaging with those type people. But don't forget about your Punchy Pick of the Month contest. We are having so much fun with that. And if you got a punchy pick, and you guys know what I mean by now, you know, take a picture of it with your phone, email it to punchy@nationalbeefwire.com. You're automatically entered to win. The grand prize winner in the Punchy Pick of the Month contest literally gets a giant box full of all kinds of cool stuff from Beaver Feed Company in Beaver, Oklahoma, Beaver County Stockyards, Beaver, Oklahoma, Fair Piece. They've got some pretty cool swag themselves. A little bit of swag from Feeder Flash and National Beefwire, and then the biggest part of that grand prize is the whole case of Fair Piece that you get. That's the revolutionary product that's scientifically proven, and everybody needs to try that. And don't forget about your Feeder Flash Beaver Clash feeder cattle auction special that's going to be going on this next Tuesday, the 18th. And they're looking at putting in a Fair Piece treatment station at Beaver County Stockyards. which you know, they're going to have an alley there with electronic eyes on it, and going to be treating those cattle with therapies. So if you've got cattle that you're getting ready to sell, bring them in a day or two early, you want to put some therapies on them, you can do that then. If you're buying cattle, whether you're going to turn them out or put them in the feed yard, you want to treat them with therapies, you can do that then. But we're looking forward to the Feeder Flash Beaver Clash here next Tuesday, the 18th, in Beaver, Oklahoma. Let's talk about your board on Wednesday. June live cattle futures were down a dime at 183.65. August was down 60 cents at 178.32. Your back months were all down from 32 cents to 67, but so it's down, but not terrible. Your feeder cattle futures, August was down just 7 cents at 257.57, still running well out ahead of your cash index levels. September feeder cattle down 20 cents at 258.47, and your back months were all down, but not a lot, from 22 cents to 50 cents lower. After the WASDE report that come out about noon, 11 o'clock Central, your July corn futures, Chicago Board of Trade, were up 4 3/4 cents a bushel at 454.5. Soybeans were down 3/4 cents at 11.77 1/4. Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 17 3/4 cents at 637 1/4. Your fat cattle trade, and we haven't seen any trade really to speak of in the northern plains. Now the southern plains, these guys, they're not even trying anymore. They're just giving up. But Iowa sold a few, I mean, not even a full load of cattle at 302 dressed, which would be right square in the middle of last week's price range there. Nebraska has not sold a hoof yet. Kansas sold 800 confirmed on Wednesday at 185, steady with last week. Texas sold 1,000 already. They don't sell but 3,000 or 4,000 for the whole week. They've already sold 1,000 on Wednesday, and the price was mostly 185 with a few up to 186. We did see your Fed Cattle Exchange sell some beef on dairy cattle, bid the grid like 188, 188 1/4. That should be a positive thing there. Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota had a fat cattle auction on Wednesday, about 750 head, including a light run of cows and bulls. But your steers were steady to $1 higher. Your slaughter heifers were $1 to $3 higher. Conventional fat steers and heifers bring 185 to 192. Some program cattle, which were more than the conventional cattle. There's more program cattle that are drug-free or non-implanted than there are conventional cattle, and they sold from 191.5 to 195. Pretty impressive, guys. Some Holstein dairy fed steers there are $3 higher, from 162 to 170. Box beef cutout values were lower on Wednesday. Choice cuts down 61 cents at 317.60. Selects down 169 at 298.93. Your slaughters running at a pretty decent pace. 367,000, that's steady with last week, and 10,000 less than the same week a year ago. Talk about what else is going on. Legend Bank, if you're looking for fast and efficient cattle financing, Legend Bank is a place to go. They're located in North Texas, but they can help you with your cattle financing in all of Texas and all of Oklahoma. So get a hold of either Greg Brooks or Ricky Taylor there at Legend Bank, and then those guys know what they're doing. They can help you out. Remember, Legend Bank is a member of FDIC. All loans are subject to credit approval, and they are an equal housing member. For more information, go to legend.bank. Talk about your feeder cattle market. Your real-time index from DVAuction, based on an 800-pound cash auction steer up through your middle 12 states, figured exactly the same as your CME cash feeder cattle index. Latest come out late in the day on Wednesday at 255.89 with higher markets on Wednesday. It was up $1.46 compared to the end of Tuesday's trade. Your latest CME cash feeder cattle index was 253.74. Talk about your big sales on Wednesday, and not a lot of sales to choose from. I think a lot of your your auction owners and managers had a light week this week on purpose so they could come out to Oklahoma City and get ready for the convention. But of course, in Oklahoma, OKC West in El Reno, Oklahoma, it's a short drive, so they had a pretty good sale there. 7,100 for their 2-day sale with a lighter run of calves on Tuesday. Pretty good jag of feeder cattle on Wednesday. Feeder steers, like I said earlier, were 8 to 12 bucks higher. Feeder heifers were 2 to 4 bucks higher. Calves sold steady and light test on Tuesday. NationalBeefWire stick-out sale of the day was El Reno, Oklahoma. And just for the Wednesday sale, you see these best tested weights were all feeder weights there. 468 head of 7-weight steers in El Reno, average 752 at 263.75. 805 head of 8-weight steers averaged 839 at 251.59. 1,035 head of 9-weight steers. I tell you what, these graze out weak cattle gained it all, people. Those 9-weight steers averaged 939 with a weighted average price of 235.71. Look at your heifers. How about 392 head of 6-weight heifers, average 655 at 249.91. 1,290 head of 7-weight heifers in El Reno, average 760, the weighted average price of 235.10. 654 head of 8-weight heifers averaged 842 at 224.91. An individual stick-out deal from OKC West was 119 steers, weighed 839 and bring 258.50. That's pretty snappy, guys. How about some individual quotes from all around? How about Cattleman's Livestock Market in Galt, California? Way out west. They're bringing a lot of money out there too, guys. 105 steers weighed 702 at 282. How about some heifers? Feeding heifers at Bluegrass Stockyards in Albany, Kentucky. Belonged to Jacob Key. He's a Feeder Flash gang member. He told me about him, said there's a load of those black heifers, weighed 690, standing in the ring in Albany, Kentucky, bring 263.50. Wow. How about another Kentucky market, Russell County Stockyards in Russell Springs, Kentucky, sold 71 steers, weighed 794, almost 800 pounds in Kentucky, guys, bring 266.50. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Wednesday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Platte Livestock Market in Platte, South Dakota. 54 steers, weighed 997, right up against a grand, bring 246. Check out this video from Fairpiece to find out more information about them. And that's your Feeder Flash for Thursday.
My name is Jeff Slatton with the Beaver County Stockyards. We run a large number of yearlings. This fall, Rodrigo with Fairpiece came to me and wanted me to try this product. Since then, our medicine bills went to nothing. This is not an antibiotic. It makes your cattle keep hydrated. It makes your antibiotics and your drugs work like they should. I feed quite a large amount of cattle, and I'm sending them to the feed yards, and every feed yard likes it now. We went from doctoring 40% of them last November to almost nothing. We're not having any bad eyes or foot rotters. It's eliminated tons of our problems. I would not buy a set of calves without using this. I think this has made me more money than any antibiotic or drug that I've ever used. This is not a paid advertisement. This is good stuff. If you want to make some money, buy you some little calves, use this Fairpiece and save a lot. I don't know what else to say, but it's the best product I've ever used.